Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Amy says it's a pom-pom party. It's a crepe paper and a pom-pom party. So we're going to have fun. Hello, Gretchen and Lori, Denise, Susan, Melissa, Jen. Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It is definitely no makeup Monday for me today. I'm tired. I don't know if anybody else is tired. I'm exhausted. And I don't even know why. It's just Monday, right? Oh my goodness. Hello, Gail, Julia, everyone. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do some florals, crepe paper, and I have a little crepe paper surprise for you too. It was a test today to see if it could be done, and I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So before we do that, I know sinuses, it's all the things. I'm tired for no reason. I know exactly. Oh, mercy. What are we going to do with ourselves? Okay. Our free class is coming up here in about, 3 weeks, May 18th. It's already almost May on Wednesday, guys. Can you believe it? Okay, our free class. This is the card that I'm going to be creating. I like to invite everyone to come hang out if you want to just ink blend and have a good time, or, stamp and color, do whatever. This is the card that I'm going to be making May 18th, 1 p.m. Eastern. There's already a live link set up on our YouTube channel. Now, it won't be active until the class is live. But also there is the class collection that has a discount code. So make sure you check that out if you want to pick up any of these supplies. And then the class information is in the description box below this live stream as well. So make sure you check all that out. And then let's go to what we're going to be doing tonight. I know Honeybee had some other brand of crepe paper they sell. Is this paper any good? I have not used that other brand. I have only used ours, and you're about to see it in action today. And our friends last Wednesday saw it. I'm just going to put my camera down on my desk, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is the card that I created. I'm going to tilt it because I've really zoomed in for tonight's project. But this is all crepe paper. You can see here where it's lifted a little bit here. So 1, 2, 3. This is crepe paper, and you can see how well it holds up. It is not like your like birthday party crepe paper, or what do you call that? Like tissue paper-ish stuff. It's really, really heavy duty. Now, this is what it looks like when it comes in the package. And this is just, let me go ahead and scroll out so I don't blind everybody. This is just our celebration pack. That's all the bright colors for like all the birthday celebrating stuff. But because, and you'll see here in just a little bit, because these work so well on florals, our lovely layers and things like that, Lisa and I have already been working on putting collections of papers together through our supplier. So we'll have like a green collection, or like a pinks and a reds, and we're working out on the details for that. But it's really, really good, and you're about to see tonight. Okay, so without further ado, let's just jump into it. I'm going to show you my little dish first. I like to do this sometimes. And then I'll show you what we're working with. Okay, all of the tulips from the April showers lovely layer set. This is all that crepe paper, guys. So the only thing on these little flowers that are not the crepe paper is the stem. So there's 1. Here is 2. Here is 3. And I'm going to have like a whole little tulip garden going on here. And then I'm going to put one together. Now, this is crepe paper as well. So there are 3 layers. So his little face is a crepe paper layer. His chest, and his legs are a crepe paper layer. And then his little tummy back in here where you can see all this detail, that is all crepe paper as well. That all started out in the white crepe paper from this package, and I ink blended on it. So I had lots of questions last week. I'm like, can it be ink blended? Can you use your blending brushes? Can you use, you know, all the things? Yes, you absolutely can. Now, this was what I tested today because I wanted to see how it would look and how it would work. I did start out with a layer of white paper because, one, I wanted it to be really sturdy, and it gave me something to build the little rabbit on. But you can see any kind of little critter. We have our little heart hugs critters that are super cute. There's like a bear, a hedgehog, and a fox, I believe. Any kind of little critter, you're going to be able to manipulate which way you run your dyes through your dye machine, because, you know, all crepe paper has that texture to it. Do you see this where it kind of runs in these veins where you can tell it's been crinkled up? I kind of watch and pay attention to the way in which I'm running my dyes and my paper through my machine, because then you can control like where his fur is going to run. So you can totally play with it like that. And you can see I've ink blended on it. And those of you who have watched me for a while know that I am not gentle at all when it comes to like ink blending and my brushes and stuff like that. And this is how well it holds up to the ink blending and glue and all that stuff. The ink does not rub off. And it stays really nicely. Again, all of this rabbit started out with either the white crepe paper or white cardstock. So, all right, there's that guy. Now, let me show you what we're going to do tonight. We're going to build a tulip, and I'm going to walk you through that. I'm going to put all my little garden back here in my dish. And then I'm going to ink blend the little boots from the April showers set. And let's look at that really quick before. Okay, so this is that large die set. Now my little boots are over here, but I cut all the tulips from here. And there's lots of really sweet little flowers in here that you could use any of the crepe paper on. Lisa even asked me to cut the bird today just to look at it. And I completely flaked that. I totally forgot. Maybe I can do that on Wednesday night, and we can do a Lovely Layers bird, or even maybe like with these bright colors, maybe the hummingbird, and do something like that. That might be fun. But we're going to get into that. Okay. So the stem is cut. I use green cardstock, right, for my little stem. So I'm going to stick him up there. And then I'm going to lay out my layers of my crepe paper. So you can see here that I just used that yellow crepe paper in the Celebrate package. But you could totally use the white if you wanted, you know, pink or purple or whatever. Now this looks really fluorescent on the screen. I assure you that it's not fluorescent. And then I'm going to take my little brush. Let me find it here. And I'm going to take my Wild Honey Oxide ink. And this is how I got my tulips to look what they look like. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Let's see here. Lois, they're working on separate color. Thank you, girls. Thank you, friends. There's Dawn. Hello. I wondered about the hummingbird. Yes. I'm super excited. I'm going to try that. Okay. So this right here is the bottommost layer, or kind of like the base layer. And I'm going to take my Wild Honey and I'm going to work it right up here on the top of that little tulip, because I know when I layer all these little parts and pieces together, let me come down some. You're not going to see the tail end of the tulip down there. So I'm not going to spend any time worrying about that. I'm only going to add a little bit of this wild honey right there towards the top. And then this is the next layer. And I'm going to take what's on my brush and I'm just going to give it just a hair. I can even kind of do just a tad. I don't want it nearly as dark. And then this is going to be my next layer. And I'm going to work that on there. So each layer is gradually getting a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter as it comes up towards the top of that little tulip. And then for this front petal, I'm going to go right around kind of its little bottom here where it's going to be connected down into the stem and into the rest of, I've got some fuzzy there, of the little flower, but just some little shading right there around the edge. Okay, so let me set that aside, and then let's go ahead and let's put this together while, excuse my reach, while we're kind of working on it. Okay, another thing that I have noticed in playing with our new crepe paper, you cannot see the glue in between the layers. Now you'll notice I'm not a very heavy gluer. I don't, it doesn't take a lot of glue to just attach your little pieces. And so you can't see the glue even when it's dry. I'm going to take my last little layer and add here. And on this one, I kind of like to hold it, and then I want this little guy, I want to start to get some kind of little curly ripples in those little tulip petals as I, put it together. Okay, my stem. Let me see if I can't pick this little guy up. All right, so let's get him laid down. And for this, super simple, dot on some adhesive, and I'm simply going to take the tulip and we're just going to attach it just like so. Let's see here. Is Lisa here? There's Lisa. Good deal. And then before it has time to stick to my desk and everything, I'm just going to pick it up just like so and just kind of move it out of the way. Okay, the leaves. These are the little tulip leaves that I have cut out of the green crepe paper. And so I'm going to lay that little guy down, and let me make sure I've got everybody's running the right direction. They do have a direction to them, funny enough. And yeah, this one's going to run that way. Yep, that direction. Okay, for these two, I am taking my Rustic Wilderness. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to ink up my little brush here. And then I'm going to go right up kind of the back side of this leaf down here where it would be connected to the stem. And then I'm going to add a little bit of shading along this way. And then there is and this one, it's hard to tell. There is a embossed line right there, like where that little leaf would have been kind of curled over on itself, where if you kind of want to get fancy there and add a little bit of shading like that, you can do that. I'm going to do the same thing to this side and go right up the back side. And then I can add maybe a little shading right in there. Nothing too fancy schmancy. And then now I can just decide, where I want to add my little leaves. Some of them you can add 3, you want to add 2, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right there. And I always like my tweezers to kind of help me out. And I'm going to lay the tulip on the top for this one. And then I'm going to pick it up and give it a little squish. So this is what we have so far. Oops. And then this little guy, I'm going to add a little adhesive right there. And then I'm going to move it kind of further down this way. And then adhere it right over the top. And then this is, you know, how it's going to finish off. So you can see my little happy dish of tulips that I have here. Super cute. All right, now let's get a little wipe down. Now to go on our little card today, I am going to ink blend the little rain boots that are in that April Showers die set. The rain boots are going to go with the little rabbit and the tulips. And we're just going to make a cute little scene here. Okay, so we've got our layering little rain boots. Now, because I did my tulips in yellow, I'm going to make my boots in my favorite pink, which is Saltwater Taffy. And kind of move things out of the way here. And let's see here if I need a smaller brush. We're going to make it work. I am going to move him. I'm going to start way down here off onto my little grip mat, and I'm going to move darker. I want it darker on the bottom of the boot and then kind of get lighter and lighter as I crawl up towards the knee part of the boot. But we're going to have this really pretty springy pink. I'm going to move his boot friend over here because I want to go at it from this direction. And then this is the shoe portion or the layering piece for that. I'm going to go ahead and, come on now, you have to cooperate. I'm going to kind of do the same thing, but I want it a little bit lighter. So that way when we put it over the top, you can see the variation in color. Let's go a little bit. And then I'm going to take just like so. And then I'm going to flick down from the top as well, just to darken up that little ridge line right there on the top of the little boot. Now let's go ahead and let's put it together while we're going here. And the little embossing lines that are in the base part of the boot show you exactly where to put the top layer. So it's really easy. Slide that down. Darken up just a hair. Okay, we've got one little boot. Come on. I'm going to squish that and make sure we can't have our little rain boots coming apart. Okay, now we're going to repeat what we just did, but on this boot. Same thing. Start at the bottom, and then I'm going to very carefully just work my way up lighter and lighter all the way towards the top. And then let's do the layering piece. Darker down in here. darker down here on the sole, and then a little bit across the little seam line way up here. Okay, and then I'm just going to dot, dot, dot. And then add my layers. There we go. Now I'm going to be really careful and pull that up. And now I've got little pink boots. Okay, now I'm going to come out a little bit and I can get rid of my messy mat. Now for my card base, that we're going to put our little rabbit and our little tulips. I'm just going to start out with a white top folding card base, and I'm going to give my little bunny rabbit a place to rest. And I'm going to do that with my inks. We're just going to make kind of a little bit of a little bit of ground. I'm using my grid lines on my desk to kind of eyeball it a little bit. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but I'm going to start with the sky. And I have Salvaged Patina. So we're going for a little kind of turquoisey look, and I'm actually going to, I try to think about when I do this, and I hope this makes sense. I don't know if everybody's crazy brain works like mine does or not, but I know that there's going to be a spot when I set my brush down that's going to be darker. It's either going to be darker than everywhere else, because I can't like start off of this and do the kind of hazy look that I want to do. So I try to think about, like, when I put my brush down, I want to put it in a spot that's going to be covered up by all my cutesy little things that are going to go on the top of my card. So I know that my bunny and my tulips and all that are going to go right in here. So that's where I'm going to set my brush down and really start blending, because any kind of little boo-boos or where you have like brush lines or things like that, they're going to be right in there where you can kind of more easily cover them up, if that makes sense. I hope my crazy brain makes sense. It may not, but that's kind of what I think. I try to think like, okay, if I booger this up, where can I hide it? Because, you know, if I started up here or anywhere else, I may not be able to disguise it as well. So I'm just going to add this Salvaged Patina kind of around like so. And you can see how it's really super hazy. So it's going to add that the little hazy spot. Now, if I take these away, that's what we've got here. Oh, you can see I'm a little crooked. Of course I'm crooked. Okay, and then I'm going to flip them around, and I'm going to add my little sheets here right over that Salvaged Patina that I've already put on there. And then now we're going to do the grass. So for the grass, I have Mowed lawn. And so same thing. I want to put my brush down where I can hide any of the boo-boos if I booger it up. So I'm going to start right there in the center again. And then I'm just going to work that out pretty light. I could have used the Twisted Citron, but I was afraid it was going to go a little more yellow looking. So Mowed lawn it is. And I'm not even going to pull it like all the way down to the end. And I can already tell there's going to be a little boo-boo spot right there. You can tell it's going to be a little bit dark. Now let's look. Let's see how bad it is. Okay, so let me go back here. There we go. All right, now let's see how bad we boogered. Okay, so do you see where it got a lot heavier right in there. That's kind of my thought process behind, I don't know, my crazy crafty thoughts, I guess, of why I did it like that. Okay, so now I've got a little spot for our little garden. So the next thing I want to do is and this is totally not like me at all. You're going to be shocked, but I'm going to stamp my sentiment next because I know I'm going to have all these elements that have to fit onto the card, the bunny and the boots and all that. So I want to pick a sentiment that's going to kind of nestle down in here a little bit. I think I'm going to do... I think I may do this one day a year hand-picked just for you. I think that's sweet. And we've got like the little I've got the tulips and things going. So I think I'm going to do that one. And this stamp set is called Celebrating You. So let me pull it out. And then let's see here. I don't want to do that. I don't want to stamp it directly on there because if I do that, one, A, I could booger it up. I could mess it up. And B, I may run out of room. Like I'm going to have to, if I stamp it and die cut it, then I've got more wiggle room on where I can put all the little goodies and things. If we do it this way. So that's what I'm thinking. All right, so I'm just going to lay this down and I am going to stamp this in. I'm going to stamp it in Rustic Wilderness, I think, to pull in that dark portion of our little leaves. We'll see. Okay, tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Right in there. We're looking good. One more time. There we go. Okay, now let's pull this up. And then before I die cut this, I probably should dry it just a hair. Okay, now let's pick out our coordinating die. Okay, so we get lots of questions. I don't know if some of you, if most of you probably know that I do all of our customer care, like on our emails and things. We get lots of questions of like, okay, well, I've got my dies out of the packaging or whatever. Now, how do I tell like what stamp goes with the die? And Kelley Taylor taught me this trick. You turn your stamps upside down like this. Do you see how they're upside down and you can't really read them that well? Well, if you do that and kind of lay them over the dies, do you see how this stamp right here exactly matches up with that die? You can kind of do that. So I know I want the one day, and you can kind of look sometimes. This is what I do too, is I look at the shapes of the letters, and you can kind of look, see, okay, that one day right there. So it's going to be hard to see because I'm looking at the black printing that's on the acetate. But that right there is the die that matches my sentiment. So I'm going to take it off. And then I can lay it over. And we're going to make sure all of our little loops and curls and swoops and punctuation are all where they're supposed to be, at least pretty well. Okay, now I'm going to run it through my Bitty Buzz. All right. All right, now let's pop this out. Let's see how we're looking here. I did pretty good lining it up. Not too shabby. Okay, so let me set that aside. And now we've got our card base. And then I've got like a pretty little sentiment that I can add, you know, wherever we want it to go. Okay, we've got our cutesy patootsy little pink rain boots. They're going to go somewhere. We have our cutie pie little crepe paper bunny. For those of you that missed the beginning of the live stream, all of the tulips besides the stem and most of the rabbit are the new crepe paper. So he started out white and I ink blended him with, let's see here, walnut stain and gathered twigs. So he's going to set right about yonder like that. And then we're going to work our little garden. And I went to town cutting all these little leaves today. And I didn't need that many. But now I've got them. Oh. And we've got a bunny tail for our bunny's tail. So somebody mentioned pom-poms. So I've got all mine all mixed together, but we've got two sizes of pom-poms right now. We've got the larger ones that look really cute on the top of the little party hat. And then we have these little white ones that on the website, they're called bunny tails, but they're the little white pom-poms. So he's going to get a little tail today, but I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to stick it right there. All right. I'm going to start out with some foam dots because I know that I'm going to want to tuck in all of my little tulip garden, and I want to have some dimension. That way I can kind of stick everything in there where I want it to go. So instead of starting with the tulips and having to figure out where they're all going to go, I'm going to start with the bunny and the boots. So I'm going to put, I'm going to do one way down here. And then I'm going to do one way down here. And I'm doing way towards the bottom because I know I'm more likely to stick the stems of the tulips like up closer to the tops of the boots, if that makes sense. And I'm going to go kind of something like so. So let's stick this little guy down. Make sure he's pretty straight. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that one. And then our little bunny guy. Same thing with this little guy. I'm just going to put one like right there. And he's going to just kind of perch kind of right like so. And then let me go ahead. No, I don't want to do it until last because I could even pop this up right over the top of the little boots or even up here. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go for it. I never do this, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to stick it up there and then I'm going to build the flowers around it. So I'm going to put this right up in here. And then I'm going to make sure it's all, nice and straight before that adhesive has time to dry. I think that's going to be a good spot. About like that. Okay, now let's have fun with all these little tulips. All right, so let's do this. Just a little tiny dab will do ya. And let's start about, you know, right in there. And that'll be like a good kind of starting off point to adding our little tubes. I could stick them all in the boots too. That would be adorable. I think I might do that. I think I might stick them all like they're sticking down in the boots. I was going to have like a whole little, like a little flower bed of tulips, but I think we might just do this one a little further down. So it's like almost a little bouquet there. I love how much texture and like, do you see how these are curling like real little petals? I just love it. They're so fun. And then I'm going to stick one like down in that little boot. This guy, he may need a haircut. I hate to do it to him, but I want him right almost down in there. This little guy, he's going to have a haircut. There we go. This little guy, haircut. There we go. Now, I do have extra leaves. So I can do like, okay, so I folded this leaf like this. I don't know if it's hard to see. There's a little bit of glue on the back side of here. And I'm going to bend this over the top of the boot because it's going to make it look like those tulip leaves are hanging out. Kind of like so. And then let me get another one. Here's another one. You can see I'm not gentle with the crepe paper. So this green is crepe paper, and I had extra leaves, and I'm just making this little guy match the others. Okay. And let's see here. Do I want it? Okay. Come on. There we go. And now I'm just fussing. Okay. So let me put a stop on that. Okay. So here's what we've got so far. Let me see here. And I'm going to finish it off with, if I can find them, a few of the little green pearls. Let me find, there it is. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, his tail. I can't forget his tail. Oh, my word. 4, and let's put one right there. How could I forget the bunny tail? Holy smokes. Okay, so his little bum, there's a little paper tail right there. I'm going to just attach, and I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right there on his little tail right there, and then maybe some right there behind, and then I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to hold it just for a second and let that bunny tail do its, and the glue do its job. Okay. Now, do you see those little tulips? See all the little frilliness of that crepe paper? So cute. Okay, so let's go back over here. All right, now let me look. So adorable. Fluffy bunny tail. Yes. Let me get it up here where we can look. Okay. You can always see the colors better like this. I think because of the really super bright lights. See the little pink boots and the little flowers and that sweet little crepe paper bunny? He's stinking adorable. Stinking adorable. And for those of you that didn't catch last week's live with the crepe paper, let me see if I can find it really quick. I wanted to show you that it's, I got some small pieces cut somewhere. It's super heavy duty. So this is the paper that I used to cut the tulips. And you can see where I ink blended some parts of it. It's really heavy duty paper. It's not going to rip and tear like your dollar store, craft store, big box store crepe paper. That's why you're able to die cut it and ink blend it. It's really heavy duty crepe paper. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Even the, let me go down here. Even like I've got the little leaves here, like don't be afraid to cut them. And see, it took a bunch of pulling to pull them apart. Like it would take me doing some damage to tear them up ink blending. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we're talking about. It's perfect. Let's see. I always say nothing left from honeybee. I know. And the rabbit today, the rabbit was a test because I thought, I don't know how this is going to look on like our Lovely Layers birds and the owl, other critters that would like die cut critters that we have. I wasn't for sure what it was going to look like and if I could make it look the way I wanted it to. And that started out as white crepe paper, the white that's in that package. So I think we're going to have fun with this, you guys. Like I had fun. I think Wednesday night, what I'll do is I'll make a card and I'll cut the hummingbird out of all. Do I want to do it out of white? I don't know. I'm going to surprise you. I might cut it all out of white and then ink blend on it to show you how well you can blend it. Or I may do a couple layers like that pretty blue paper that's in that package. I may do like his tail or something out of that. I don't know. We're going to play and we're going to see. So we're going to come back for a hummingbird card. If you want to see me play around with that, and I'll ink blend it and we'll put it all together with their crepe paper. But it's really fun. It's kind of like the new like my new toy. I don't know. All right. Let's see. The tree stump would look really cool. I saw a really cute card today where somebody did the rabbit sitting on the tree stump flippin' adorable. It was so cute. Let's see. Definitely come back on Wednesday. Yes. All right. All right, Lisa, my friend. It is time to choose one of our wonderful friends as a winner for this evening. Yeah, the tree stump would look awesome. Ink blended like that, and it'll have so much like gritty texture. All right, Melinda Betts. You are the winner. You are the winner, Melinda. You're the winner. Okay, if you will email me at customercare@honeybeestamps.com, I am going to email you a prize. So if you'll do that for me, Miss Melinda, that would be awesome. And then I hope you all will come and join me on Wednesday, and we're going to have some fun. I will just cut the hummingbird. I won't ink blend it or anything. This I wasn't sure was going to work. That's why I did that. I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of all my friends. So I'll do the hummingbird because I know it's going to work, and we'll put it all together. Together. How about we do that? All right, you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great Tuesday tomorrow. Bye-bye.